And so, getting back to Stack and Grow, I remember over 20 years ago, I entered on the computer, work from home. Have you entered that word before on the computer? Work from home. I'm tired of this 9 to 5. I'm tired of working two jobs, or I'm tired of doing overtime. And he said, listen, there must be something online that can give me that, that freedom, that sense of, that added income. So we type in our search, work from home. All right. But when I did that, I wasn't unaware, right, that this was simply a search, that this kind of search would mark what the start of what I know referred to as stack and grow. I was stacking. I didn't know, but I was stacking. Work from home. All right. Now, if you think about it, you think about what we sometimes don't even think about, or don't realize that these are major steps, though they may seem small, right? Asking questions. I'll give you a quick example. I remember one time I played at this event. It was somewhere downtown, Fifth Avenue, in Manhattan, and I think it was a millionaires club meeting. So most folks there, they were all pretty much millionaires in their right. They have they had businesses, they had done their thing, and they had this meeting that they were celebrating their success and that kind of thing. And I was hired to play there. So when I was playing there, at one point, this gentleman came, on maybe 40, 45 years old, came up and said, man, I enjoyed your playing. It was pretty good. And he started asking me questions like, where you from, when did you start playing the saxophone and that kind of thing. And I started asking question myself. I'm like, you're asking me question. Well, I'm gonna ask you question as well. So I said, well, I mean, you're a pretty young guy. I said, what got you into this field of business, and also, how did you become a millionaire, at your age? And he said, young man, I'm gonna give you a secret. I'm like, I'm listening. I'm listening. You know what I'm saying? Uh, and he said, I'm not that different from you. So don't get it twisted here. I'm not this genius like this. Why I got to this point, as far as my wealth, is because I listen keenly in my circle. I listen keenly and I take action. Many folks are afraid to take actions. And so because they're afraid to take that action, they never get to the next level of different information to take more actions. Right? Sometimes we're planted in circles and we don't understand the circle that we're in. All right. So we don't use those small little nuggets and build on it. All right. And so you think about that, those kind of things. It was a start of what I now refer to as stacking. As I said earlier, the cornerstone of my development was those things. And what the stacking growth segment is, and what it's all about, is so we take note. All right. Taking note is a very important thing. And sometimes even having a pen and paper, you write things down. Sometimes I hear about folks who have had dreams, or they have had impressions, or they may have some kind of vision or something, and they didn't write it down, and it's gone forever. All right. So I always feels important to take notes. You know, it all will make sense. It all will connect at some point. Um, so you think about things like watching a 3-minute video online on an online course. That is stacking. You may say, let me watch that video. Let me check that out. Let me look at this program here. It may seem simple, but that's part of stacking. All right. Some of you may sign up to a free session on starting a business. All right. Maybe you didn't complete the session, but that's stacking. All right. How can I learn from that? Maybe I didn't follow through what I started. Next time, let me follow through. But you started something. All right. So Even if you didn't notice, each small step you took contributed to your success. All right. Even getting here, a lot of you might have failed something before. You might have tried some things before, and it didn't pan out. It just didn't work out the way you wanted to work out. You know what I mean? And some of you will just know that in your gut, there's something there that I know I can do this. I know that is possible. All right. And I believe that's why you're connected here and other programs like you may find that's had a similar kind of alignment that lets you know that you can win. And that's why if you check on my page, you'll find hubs. Right? I have some hubs, right? I have hubs that talk about family protection hubs. All right. Because while you doing your thing, there are things that you may need to do to protect your family. Because, it's like you have an insurance, right? You have an insurance and you may be an entrepreneur, but you can get sick. So the insurance is there as a means to help support because sometimes you can get so knocked down so bad that you can never get up again because there was no protection there. There was no added thing to put in place just in case. All right. And so we're looking at things that we must consider as we're looking on stacking and growing and moving ahead. All right. You look at things like um, uh, Instagram, LinkedIn, Facebook, TikTok, YouTube, or even a short clip somewhere. That's how you might have found me. All right. So those small different entities, they meant something. They were some doorway. All right. So when I understand those dynamics, I said, well, what can I use, right? Compile together to bring folks to a place where they can get information. They can get that the next level knowledge, those nuggets. And so that's how you might have discovered me. You might have saw something to Instagram, like I said, maybe to a blog. I do blogs, right? Maybe to LinkedIn, maybe to Facebook. All right. It could be to TikTok. All right. It could be to YouTube. All right. So therefore, the question now is, could this be your time? Could this be your season? Could it be? I would say so. I would believe so. Everything might be aligning for you for your ultimate success. And I hope you can see that. If you're committed to growing your business, all right, if you're committed to doing this step by step, concentrate on these three essential things. All right. One is have a clear vision and be flexible. All right. So you have to understand your goals, write it down, but also be prepared to pivot when opportunities arise. Many people, sadly, they miss opportunities when it comes because they weren't ready for it. They were not in the right frame of mind. They weren't asking the right questions. The next thing is that put customers first. Listen, adapt, and enhance based on what your audience truly desires. There, there are people I know who I've worked with, and some people I just don't charge them anything. I get a sense that this person don't need to be charged. I have a book that I've written. It's called When Fun Is Not Funny, and yes, it's online. You can actually purchase from there. However, there are folks I may just put in their hands. I won't go and say, hey, here's the book. Give me X amount for the book. I don't need to do that. Some people, I just mail them a book, mail it to them. And if I do that, it may lead to something else where I may get called in to do a speech, to give a seminar. Who knows? But I'm so hungry for money that I'm selling everybody. I'm just going around, give me $10, man. I need my book to be sold, and miss the mark. Years ago, when I was a part of this band called Arise, we had CDs. We traveled. We did some international travel, and a lot of it here nationally across America, here, the US, a lot of states. And I remember we had an event and we gave one of the CDs to the head person in our church organization. We just gave him a gift, signed it and gave it to him. And the next thing you know, we got invited to a men's conference, a pastor's conference. No, on to watch me now. This was an event where pastors have what? Churches. Churches hire musicians, singers to come. So one event, we got to see maybe close to what, 3, 4, 500 different pastors across the country who came to this event. After that one event, we were just traveling so much because we were being called by different pastors, in different states, because of one event, because of one CD. Buying that's when about the few dollars we're gonna get for the CD. It's a gift. Here's a gift, sir. All right. And so that's where a lot of people go wrong. They don't see the idea and they miss out. Now, the next thing is that you want to plan for growth. So we talk about first clear vision and flexibility. Talk about put customers first and then plan for growth. So that's what develop systems and a team that can expand as your business does. And I find that I am now in that space where as I want my business to grow, right, I'm become part of a system that you can, the viewer, and a team. What you're seeing here, I'm not techie at all. I'm really not. But what you're seeing here is because of a team. And I'm telling you, a lot of people, they assume XYZ and they assume so and so on, and they kind of put themselves out of the game without even inquiring. Because sometimes if you're thinking money first, opposed to community first and network first, you may miss the idea. And sometimes whenever community and a network, sometimes it costs you much less financially, far less financially than you think. Because if you're thinking money, I have it, I don't have it, or I need it, then that could be your very downfall. All right, so those three things are very important for you to recognize. Remember this, stacking isn't about giant leaps. Remember, it's about small steps ahead. It's about consistent, intentional steps that build what? Momentum over time. All right, not an overnight thing, it's over time. Stack and grow. What, you keep adding what? Layers. You stay focused on your vision and watch how small actions compound into big results. That's what I'm seeing now. So I'm not telling you something that I'm not walked down that road. What I like about this program here, I feel very authentic because I walked that road. So I know what I'm saying. Your next level of success is what I think is closer than you think. I really do.
If today's episode spoke to you, it's because you're ready. Ready for your money to work for you. Ready for practical steps, not just motivation. Ready for faith-led financial freedom. Ready to build stability, peace, and confidence for your family. You're not alone on this journey. The Next Level isn't just a podcast. It's a movement toward freedom, one episode at a time. Stay connected. Listen anytime at podcast.keithmerritt.com. Explore the Next Level Movement Hub. Subscribe on YouTube at Keith Merritt. Like, share, comment. Your engagement helps this message reach more families. Take your next step. Visit keithmerritt.com/impact/the next level. Subscribe for the latest blog from the Freedom Resource Hub and join the Next Level Resource Network. Choose the hub that fits your journey: music and speaking, family protection, digital learning, passive income, or Keith's book and reading hub. Press play. Take action. Your next level is calling.